at this. This is a good one. Some suggest that Parker's powers include the male spider's ability to hypnotize females.
Stop, come on.
Yes, my spider lord.
Can we just, like, stay up here all day? It is so crazy down there.
That's right, folks. Spider-Man is, in fact, Peter Parker.
Listen, I did not kill Mysterio. The drones did.
The drones that are yours.
Does any part of you feel relieved about all this?
What do you mean?
Now that everybody knows, you don't really have to hide or lie to people.
For the record, I never wanted to lie to you. But how do you tell someone that you're Spider-Man? Now everybody knows. But this isn't about me. This is hurting a lot of people. I've just been thinking about how to fix all of this.
So, Peter, to what do I owe the pleasure?
I'm sorry to bother you, sir.
Please, we saved half the universe together. I think we're beyond you calling me sir.
Okay, Steven.
That feels weird, but I'll allow it.
When Mysterio revealed my identity, my entire life got screwed up. I was wondering if maybe you could make it so that he never did.
Strange.
Don't cast that spell. It's too dangerous. Fine. I won't. The entire world is about to forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Wait, everyone? Can't some people still know?
That's not how the spell works.
So MJ's gonna forget about everything we've ever been through?
Stop tampering with the spell.
Oh my God, Ned, he's my best friend. Oh, my Aunt May should really know.
Stop talking.
What just happened?
We tampered with the stability of space-time. Multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little. The problem is you trying to live two different lives. The longer you do it, the more dangerous it becomes. Be careful what you wish for, Parker.
Hello, Peter.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires, and the moment we have all been waiting for almost a full year now is finally here. The Spider-Man No Way Home trailer has officially dropped by Sony. We're going to do our normal deep dive and recap, point out all the Easter eggs, things you may have missed, and not only references to the MCU's Infinity Saga and previous Spider-Man films, but the previous Sony Spider-Man films as well. We're breaking down everything in this insane Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, but first, quickly, if you could grab that subscribe button. We're still giving away 2 PlayStation 5s, weekly Disney Plus subscriptions, tickets to go see Shang-Chi when it comes out. If you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit that subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Now, one of the most incredible things about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, and something that hit me immediately, is that it's basically an enormous Easter egg and reference to what took place at the end of Homecoming without featuring any footage, quotes, or any scenes from that movie. It's a poignant moment in which Tony Stark is ready to introduce Peter Parker not only as Spider-Man, but also an Avenger, and even has a brand new shiny iron spider suit for him to wear. Now, in that moment, which is very important, Peter Parker decides maybe that's not exactly what he wants and decides to retain his anonymity. Now, the reason this is a huge reference to that is this is the major plot vehicle we're seeing via this trailer that sets the whole thing off. In that moment, had he been introduced as Peter Parker and an Avenger, no matter how things unfold, his identity would have already been known. But because that moment went a different way, we now have this huge ordeal in which Peter Parker wants everyone to forget that he's Spider-Man and never really wanted anyone to know in the first place. I love that they're doing this because it really sets up why Peter turned down Tony in the first place. If there was any question in your heart as to what he was thinking, this immediately answers that isn't the life that he wants. And now that it's been thrust on him, he'll do anything to undo it, including get Doctor Strange to do something super dangerous like tamper with the multiverse. So the trailer opens up with MJ and Peter Parker atop of this roof talking about what I was just talking about, and the fact that, well, he's out there now. And so she's reading this social media column. It's a little bit of a satire poking fun at how these stories work and these rumors get started, where she says Peter Parker has the ability to hypnotize women, and he's like, can we not just stay up here the whole time and not go back down there, because I'm famous now, and when I go back down there, it's crazy down there. And as they swing in, you hear John Jonah Jameson's voice picking up right where we left off at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, declaring that Spider-Man is in fact Peter Parker. Now, hearing John Jonah Jameson's voice at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home should have been our first inkling that this is a crossover, that there is something going on here, because his voice talking about Spider-Man immediately invokes all of the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy vibes. It's impossible not to. And in a world where there have been so many rumors that Tobey Maguire is in fact returning from this film from that Sam Raimi trilogy, it just feels absolutely right to have John Jonah Jameson, played by J.K. Simmons, as a part of this as well. Also important to note, there may be a little meta commentary going on here at the beginning of this trailer, as art is imitating life. You have both MJ reading a report or social media column about Spider-Man, and then immediately hearing John Jonah Jameson reporting about him on his podcast as well. Not only is it a big deal in real life, it's a big deal in the MCU that they finally found out who Spider-Man is. Now, this is important to touch on as well, because again, calling back to the previous two Spider-Man movies, remember what takes place between Homecoming and Far From Home. By the time we make it to the beginning of that film, Spider-Man has become somewhat of a celebrity. At the fundraiser, while he keeps his mask on, when he's backstage talking to Happy, he casually takes it off. And anybody could have just walked backstage and seen it. It wouldn't have been as big a deal as it is now, because he's accused of not only killing Mysterio, but being behind all the terrorist attacks abroad that took place during Far From Home. So where he was already a celebrity, now he's a celebrity in trouble, and we all know that people love when a celebrity's in trouble. That makes the top of all the headlines and social media all the time. Again, meta commentary here in the trailer about how everybody loves to kick someone when they're down. Of course, the next scene, we see Peter Parker adamantly denying killing Mysterio or his involvement with anything that happened during Far From Home, even though the agent seems to insist that the drones are his. What's important about this defines the beginning of Peter Parker's legal troubles, and when you have legal troubles, that means you need a lawyer. Who better to serve as that lawyer than Matt Murdock, Daredevil, played by Charlie Cox from the original Netflix series, one of the only characters and actors we've heard to be reprising his role as we go forward in the MCU. The rumors have been out there about his involvement in Marvel Studios projects now for so long. It's been a fan favorite and an ask of the fans for a while as well. Now, and quite honestly, it's awesome to see that these legal troubles are being nodded to in the trailer, because that opens up the door for his introduction. However, I do have some comments about other things that were omitted from this trailer. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about and what I'm going to say. If not, make sure to stick to the end of the video. I'm going to talk about everything that wasn't shown in this trailer and that might not be shown until the film actually comes out. So the next scene in the trailer sees MJ trying to cast this in a good light, maybe even find the silver lining, and suggests this might be a good thing. He doesn't have to hide anymore, and he doesn't have to lie. That is a very specific and important word choice. I'll point that out again with some dialogue later in this trailer from Doctor Strange. But in the meantime, Peter snaps back, I never really wanted to lie to you. Just how do you tell someone you're Spider-Man? And then we immediately see the implications with the shot of him in public, with a shot of Aunt May. In his words, this isn't about me. He realizes that this stretches beyond just people knowing that he's Spider-Man, but it puts those he loves not only at the risk of ridicule, but actual danger that he's seen firsthand. So this isn't just about not wanting to be famous, but more so caring about those he loves and them now being at risk because people know who he is, which has always been at the heart of a great Spider-Man story going as far back in the comics as I can remember, not just the movies. This is what drives him to seek out Doctor Strange, with the crazy idea that maybe he can make everybody forget who he is, and at least in some part, this is derived directly from the comics in a storyline called One Moment in Time. Now, in that storyline in the comics, Peter does the same thing. He insists that Doctor Strange should make people forget that he's Spider-Man. Doctor Strange actually has to reach out to Tony Stark and Reed Richards because they're partially responsible for his identity identity getting leaked in the first place. And while it takes some convincing, they all decide to do that, with the caveat that everyone will forget, including Mary Jane. And while Peter Parker agrees and enters a protective shield to make sure that he's not involved, he actually jumps out last minute again in the comics and ruins the spell. That's how it happens, and at least in some part, it looks like this is influencing the story, as we hear Peter say, wait, what about Ned? And Doctor Strange says that's not how the spell works. Everyone is everyone, and it looks like the same sort of thing is going to play out here from what we've seen now in the trailer. And if you're a diehard MCU fan who's been following channels like mine for the last year, it may pain you to hear that the main villain and player in this story is Mephisto, but rest assured, we won't be doing any Mephisto theory videos here at the channel until they either show him on screen or we get him in some way confirmed in the MCU. Other than that, Mephisto's literally dead to me. But it does sort of feel a little bit like a Faustian bargain. He asks for something but doesn't think about all the implications immediately, and then mid the wish that you're asking for, all of a sudden it doesn't turn out how you planned. That's the classic devil's bargain story, and so it doesn't have to be Mephisto. Strange can substitute here with his power and make a deal that he doesn't think all the way through. Now, while I was rambling and we played this clip the first time, I've slowed this one way down, and as the multiverse starts to break, the imagery that we get is similar to two specific things we've already seen in the MCU. The first of which, the trip that Doctor Strange is sent on when he visits the Ancient One at Kamartaj. The second of which, the Bifrost itself, sort of crossing those two, and we now see in the revelation that this Christmas, Peter Parker really f***ed up. Now, we also, speaking of the first Doctor Strange, see the mirror dimension there, and the utterance from Strange himself that tampering with the time-space is something that they know very little about, at least stuck No Way Home, as the title implies. He's there with Doctor Strange and not locked by himself. But let's go ahead and freeze it right here on this frame, because this is the frame Sony themselves chose to make the thumbnail on the very first official No Way Home trailer, and there is an enormous Easter egg sitting in this thumbnail, and it's not just that Doctor Strange is pushing Peter Parker into his astral form, rather, it's what Peter Parker is holding, a cube. And really what this cube specifically is will probably be important, but even if it's not, it's the general underlying idea that's tied together by what Doctor Strange says during this part of the trailer. You have to stop trying to live two lives. The longer this goes on, the more dangerous it is. That ties back to what I said earlier in this trailer about earmarking what MJ said about lying. It's about living the lie and owning yourself, and that's at the heart, like I said, of classic Spider-Man, about learning who he is and what his role is supposed to be. Dare I say the line? Dare I say it? Here it goes. With great power comes great responsibility. That's at the heart of this moment. And then, man, does the trailer pick up. We get a ton of villain reveals. So this scene right here, even though it was only for a couple of frames, actually revealed a ton. The first of which was the yellow electricity, hinting at Jamie Foxx's Electro, which is coming back from the Andrew Garfield, now defunct, Sonyverse. You then see sand coming up in a wall. That's an ode to Sandman from the original Sam Raimi verse. We obviously see that bomb rolling in from Greengoblin. That can be none other than Willem Dafoe. And then, of course, the final reveal, Alfred Molina coming again back from the Sony Sam Raimi verse with Tobey Maguire showing up, saying his classic "Hello, Peter," and of course de-aged for this film using the same de-aging software that has made the MCU pretty famous at this point. They've used it on a lot of huge name actors. They basically showed us everything in this trailer, and it is oh so hype. But wait, did they show us everything? Now, I think the biggest thing worth pointing out that wasn't in the trailer is obviously two specific Spider-Man, one Andrew Garfield, the other Tobey Maguire. We now know that Marvel and Kevin Feige more involved than normal with the handling of this film. Perhaps that's something, a sign of the future, but in that, no huge spoilers in the first trailer, the way Sony crammed Adrian Toome's Vulture into the end of the, well, premature by 2 years Morbius trailer, a movie that's still not coming out until 2022. So with their hand in this, I think we could rest assured, being so close to the film and with any subsequent trailers and marketing for this, I think that's a reveal that's going to be saved for the film itself, something that Sony is going to try to play as close to the vest as possible and keep for the actual viewing experience. I've said I did not think that this film would ever come out in December, not the way things were going, but Kevin Feige recently confirmed in person on the press junket for Shang-Chi that it is indeed coming out on December 17th, in theaters only, and like I said, that only leaves us a couple of months till the film comes out. If there's a major reveal of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in any of the marketing for this, I would be very, very shocked, as it looks like up until now, and with all the toys and everything else Sony has done, that's something that they're not going to reveal. So we'll continue to talk about it as sort of speculation and rumor with all the toy leaks and everything else that are coming out. But in the meantime, there is so much to talk about within this trailer. We're going to continue to break it down, bring you updates, Reddit theories, Easter eggs, everything Spider-Man No Way Home probably this week, as we finally have a lot to break down. This is a rough recap, but I'm sure there are Easter eggs and other reveals that are going to come out for days after this. This was one of the most highly anticipated Marvel Sony assets of all time. Maybe even more hype than the Avengers 4, what was to be the Avengers Endgame first trailer, if you can believe that. But hey, that's what you get when Avengers Endgame does what it does. Guys, let me know all your thoughts, comments, questions, everything, your feedback. How hype are you? Things you liked, things you didn't like. I will be spending a lot of time in the comments trying to talk to as many of you. And if this is your first time here at the channel, this is what we do every day, all day long. Everything always, everything Marvel, always Marvel. 24 hours bringing you up to date news, recaps, trailers, Easter eggs, reactions, pre-screeners, you name it, we're doing it. My name's Michael Roman. That's what we do here. So if you enjoyed today's video, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button, which is a great segue into our giveaway section. Guys, we're giving away a ton of stuff. 2 PlayStation 5s, one at 900,000 subscribers, the other when What If concludes. We're also giving away weekly subscriptions to Disney Plus while the shows are live, as well as a ton of other Marvel related stuff. DVDs, if people even use those anymore, tickets, you name it. We've given away statues, collectibles, signed comics. If you want to be entered to win or for any of the future giveaways, all the same rules apply. It's super simple. Hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. The more videos you comment on, technically the better chance you have of winning. Because it's truly random, literally comment on the videos and it'll be selected, then announced at the end of videos, the same segment we're doing here. The best way to keep up with content at the channel has always been hit that notification bell, then hit that notification bell, all notifications turned on to make sure you get them. And of course, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button or at least consider it. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me over on Twitter and Instagram at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, Amazon, iTunes, Pandora, wherever you listen to original music under the name Allfires. And seriously, from the bottom of my heart, you guys are truly epic. I love the community at Everything Always. I have been spending a ton of time trying to hang out in the comments and DMs, trying to meet you guys now that we've started doing live streams. This is a cool place to be. You guys are awesome. I love you very much. I really appreciate everything and being able to share this MCU experience with you. There are legendary days among many. This is one of them, and I'm really happy to share this with you guys. So I love you. Take care of each other. Peace, love, Spider-Man. I'm out.